So we're going to war or something? I heard about that. We're going to war with Venezuela. I don't want to. I don't want to know about that. That's none of my business. I think what my country does with its military is not any of my business. It really, because what am I gonna do? What I'm gonna have an opinion? Am I gonna do something? Because either way, it's like you gotta pick a side. Whose side you got? USA or Venezuela? Obviously USA. Obviously. 10 out of 10 times. Taking the United States of America. It does kind of seem like maybe we're being the bully. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I do no research. I listen to bad podcasts. Cuz it's the most entertaining. What do you want to listen to? You want to listen to something that's I listen. There is this one podcast I listen to that's actually theoretically educational. But it's boring. I don't even retain any of the information. It's called The Rest is History. They just had Conan O'Brien on as a guest. And I listen to these two British guys. They talk about things that happened. And it's none of the drama. There's no they don't talk about their personal lives or pop culture. They talk about shit that already, but what am I going to make? Good? I'm going to make good content? Nobody likes good content. Good content is it's school. It's where you go and you sit down and a teacher is like, this is what you do. You listen to me and then you know things. That's how. I'm doing a show tonight. I have no material. I don't know what. I mean, I could do my old stuff, but I want to do new. I want to talk about new things, new opinions, new thoughts. I've got nothing. I have nothing on my brain. I'm forcing myself. This is forced right now. I'm like before the show I have to sit down. Because the other day I did this. I was in a mood. I had a big day. So I wanted to talk about my day. Since then, the past 4 days, what's happened? I mean, I did a show. I did a show at Pioneer's Bar. It is a fantastic venue. It's a venue that I like the owner very much. The owner is a man named Ali Farnaki. I'm a big fan of Ali. I did insult him to his face by accident. I mean, it was on purpose. He showed up to an open mic. That's what happens when you show up to an open mic and you sit in the front and you make yourself known. And I happen to know I shouldn't have said what all I said, first I said, I'm a big fan of yours. You created the best improv comedy theater ever. So I don't understand why all your employees hate you. None of them have a good thing to say about you. The only thing they ever say is, oh, he's so tight-fisted with money. When I found out that you were not Jewish, I was so relieved. I said that to him. I said that to a man who I admire. Not to, not to suck him off too much, but I feel like I have to compensate for the terrible things I said to his face. The truth is, I mean, it got a laugh in the room. And I was just repeating what I had heard from his employees. But also his employees, they have to grow a pair. It's like you want to work at an improv theater, you're going to work for nothing and you're going to get abused. Those are the rules of comedy. But anyway, I did this show at Pioneer's Bar. It was a fun show. And then afterwards, They had a bat, like a, pop, like the basketball arcade game where you shoot as many times, try to get in the basket. They had a competition, and the winner gets a $50 bar tab. I tried to find out when this new thing started, the $50 bar tab. It happened like right after I told Ali that all of his employees hate him and he's tight-fisted with money. And apparently it was his idea, so you're welcome. I listen, it probably had nothing to do with me, but I'm going to take credit for it anyway. Like I'm actually like 100% sure I had nothing to do with it. But it was because you're welcome. It was because of anyway. I was more excited for the basketball thing than the actual comedy show because I'm really good at Pop-A-Shot. Like the basketball thing. I'm not good at actual basketball. I'm very bad. I'm short. I'm slow. I can kind of shoot from like mid-range. That's why I'm so good at Pop-A-Shot, because it's like, it's a close. It's not like a real. First of all, it's a lower rim, and you're shooting from like 10 feet away. It's a very close. I'm great at that. Shooting threes, none of my business. But a little, that's my zone right there. So I won. I won the by like a lot. Like, I'm going to go back every week just to be in this competition. I mean, if I'm around, I'm just going to go back and fucking $50 bar tab. $50. I'm going to become an alcoholic because of this competition. I don't know. Maybe I should become an alcoholic. I don't, it'd be something to talk about. Get some good stories. Have some fun. That's a lane. That's a lane in life, especially as a comedian, to be the alcoholic guy. There's guys that make whole careers. I'm not going to name names. Bert Kreischer, Shane Gillis, Doug Stanhope. People that make whole careers. I'm not going to name anybody in particular. But that's a thing you could do. You could become the guy who drinks and he's funny. That's why I feel like I haven't been funny at all this podcast so far. It's because I'm not drinking. If I had a couple drinks in me, this would be hilarious. Let me tell you. Why is that? Why do I put that pressure on myself right now? This is for me. I should be trying to amuse myself. Instead, I'm all self-conscious, like, you're losing them. No, I'm not. They're not even listening. I know you're listening right now, but you're not. You're doing something else. And if you're not doing something else, if you're just sitting there listening to this like a lunatic, do something. Get in a car. If you don't have a car, fucking buy a car. You can't afford to buy one, steal one. Steal a car. And while you're doing it, listen to the Ari Shields show. It's really, I aspire, I think. I want to have the type of podcast that people listen to while they're doing something they're not supposed to. While you're like committing a crime, while you're, cheating on your wife. Why not? Also, why not cheat on your wife? If you're already thinking about it, just do it. Come on. This is the Cheat on Your Wife podcast. That's the show, folks. That's the show. The Cheat on Your Wife show. It's Christmas time, I think that is the best time to cheat on your wife is Christmas. Because, you just make it up to her. Just, here, I got you this present. It's a picture of me hooking up with your sister. That's your present. That's the Christmas card. That would be a great Christmas. I should do a Christmas card, I think I should do a Christmas card. It's of me Um, it'll be of me doing this. It's just this. It's just me wearing a Santa hat. I am jealous. I'm jealous of Christmas. I have Christmas envy, you know? Because I grew up not doing that. I grew up doing Passover and Yom Kippur. Notice how I didn't compare Christmas to Hanukkah. Notice how I said Hanukkah, not Hanukkah. Because I'm trying to go for the Goyish, you know? That's the best way to get the Goyim to listen to you, is you say Hanukkah instead of Hanukkah and then start speaking in Yiddish. I say Hanukkah and then I refer to you as a goy. I want the shiksas. I want to get a nice shiksa wife so I can cheat on her with her sister on Christmas. That's how you become a real Christian. Is you marry a shiksa, you hook up with her shiksa sister, then you get them both Christmas presents. And then, I don't know, the apocalypse happens, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the rules of Christianity are. Who the fuck just texted me? This is I gotta turn the notifications off. Oh, look, it was Eddie Colson sending me a reel. Some sort of a reel. Keeps it real. But that's the holiday, I think. You know? It's Jesus' birthday. Talked a lot about Jesus in the last episode. I don't know why. Because there's power to... You know, that's like, if they even, you know, I wasn't raised with Jesus, but anytime you know, something bad happens, like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, 10-car pileup. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stubbed my toe. Jesus Christ. Do a rough podcast. Hey, Jesus Christ. I don't know. Did I talk about going home for Thanksgiving? It was nice. It was nice being home. Sad. I feel sad. My family makes me sad. Which I don't know. I feel bad, and the worst. So I'll go home, and I'll be with my parents, and then I'll just feel kind of sad because of the whole thing. You know, if you don't know, my dad's 94. My mom's 25 years younger. My dad fell in the kitchen like a month ago. He hurt his spine, and now he has to wear like a collar around his neck. And I was like, how much longer you have to wear the collar for? And my mom said, I don't remember who said it. The answer was until he dies. That's the answer, which is not a fun. You know, you're supposed to be positive. You're supposed to be like, oh, what a miracle that you're alive, that you're, you know, he would be dead by now if not for my mom. He keeps trying to die, and my mom keeps fucking, no, stay alive, you know. All of his friends are dead. All the ones, you know, the ones who are the same age as him. And it's because they don't have a wife who's 25 years younger that keep them alive. And maybe that's a good thing, and maybe, you know, I don't know, this whole conversation makes me feel bad. I feel bad for even talking about this. I do. I feel ungrateful. I feel like a bad son. I do. I don't call them every day. I call them once a week. And I never have anything to say. I'm never, you know, when something good happens, something really big, I'm like, oh, you know, something they understand. I say, oh, I did this big theater. He goes, oh, very good. You're gonna be a great success. I wish you the best. It's like, that's not. I don't think that's what I should be getting from my parents. I think it should be like, how much money are you making? You should probably get a real job. But that's not the energy I get. It's because it's so, and again, who am I to complain? They gave me everything. I can't. I don't have. I feel like I don't have the right to complain. Is this funny? But I'm exploring the inside of my brain right now, and that's part of it. And I feel like I live in denial of that part of my brain. The part of my brain that looks at my parents, looks at my dad, who's my hero. It's a man who came to this country with nothing. $5. He had $5 when he came here. One of the soldiers on the boat, the Henry Gibbons, was the name of the boat. Nobody else who was on that boat is still alive. My dad's the last one. And one of the tall, when he saw the Americans for the first time, he said, "Oh, these Americans, they're so tall because they drink milk. That's what they do in America. They drink milk and they go swimming. So they're very tall." And one of the soldiers gave my dad $5. And I used to think that, like, oh, what a real generous thing this soldier did. But I hear a similar story from, like, so many immigrants came on boats that a soldier gave them a small amount of money. I think that was, like, in the budget. I think the part of the, like, rescuing refugees budget back in the day, there was, like, a cash fund where they would give these soldiers small denominations of bills. Be like, here, give these out to the kids. So they can get themselves, so they can feel welcome in America. Want to be productive citizens, feel grateful, Everybody, they're always like, oh, a soldier gave me $1. Usually it's $1, I feel like. My dad got $5. Because he was extra cute, But he came to this country, he had nothing. What did he do? He worked hard. Somehow he could not read or write. English was his second language. He was already dyslexic in his first language. Then he had to learn a new language. And he had to go to school in that language. And he made it through that. He was in the military. He served the country in the Marines. He went to college, worked very hard, invested his money, dated a bunch of shiksas. Good for him. That's if he could do it, why can't I do it, huh? Huh? What, just because my parents spent probably like $250,000 on my Jewish education? That's how much money it costs. That's how much money it costs to be an Orthodox, to go to school, to get like a proper Jewish education. It costs $250,000. And I'm not revealing anything private here. Anybody who went to my high school, and elementary school, and yeshiva in Israel, a year of YU, Just so I can turn around to be like, hey, I went to a church. I went to a church with my cool friends from Binghamton. They got married. And now I want to date a shiksa. But my dad did it, it's his one fatal flaw. String of Asian girlfriends before my mom. He was a bad boy. That's probably why God punished him by making him fall in the kitchen. Evil. I'm evil. I really am. My thoughts are evil. Do you hear what I just said? Do you hear what I just said? I referred to the man who gave me life and anything I ever asked for. He gave it to me. I just said out loud, on the internet that God punished him for dating Asian women by breaking his neck. I said that out loud. But you know what? That's what your education got you. It got you this guilt complex where everything that goes wrong is because God is punishing you for being a bad Jew. That's what's in my head. That's what $250,000 of day school education gets you. Why did the Holocaust happen? Lashon hara. Evil speech. People were speaking gossip. And that's why the Nazis were made. And I mean, that's not wrong, actually, if you think about it. If no Jew ever spoke poorly, if we were all dishonest, if we never said what somebody else was doing that was bad, and then nobody ever found out, then no one would hate us. That's why people hate Israel. It's because of Lashon hara. It's because people look at what the IDF is doing. They look at them killing kids, and they tell people about it. You're not supposed to do that. It's gossip. You're not supposed to gossip about the army. That's the whole. So really, and see, it makes sense. It does. It makes sense. Don't come at me. Come at the rabbis. Come at the oral Torah, you know? I'm not fucked in the head. I've got my head screwed on straight. I know what's going on. You don't. You think you know. Oh, you think you know what's going on in Venezuela. I don't listen. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Venezuela. I don't. I think we bombed the boat or whatever. But because I know I don't know, I know more than you. You think you know. Because you think you know less. You see how that works? It's none of our business. It's none of our business what the U.S. military does to these boats. Who told them they could have a boat? That's our thing. They don't get to have a boat. You want a boat? Become an American. We get boats. You can have a raft. You can have a raft and you can try to smuggle your drugs into America on the raft. And then if you make it through, Gesundheit. Because we need drugs. We need, what is it, cocaine? Fentanyl? We need fentanyl. Someone's got to sell it to us. What are we going to do if we don't have any more fentanyl? What are we going to do? Just not overdose? The point is, I'm friends with a woman. Going back to that. No, listen, well, I was talking about my parents. I feel bad. I feel bad when I'm home. Because my dad, he's in pain. And I can't say any of this to him. What am I going to call him up and talk like this? I mean, talk like this? Just let my emotions flow to my parents? No, of course not. They can listen to this. I'm not telling them to. They have no idea. I mean, maybe my mom might. I don't know. The point is that I don't know. But he's very positive. He sees me. He has a big smile. He says, "Oh, what a nice surprise!" Every time he sees me, what a nice surprise. And it's like he knew I was coming. I called my mom. Anytime I call my mom and say I'm coming home, she says, "Call your father. Tell him yourself and make him happy." So I call him. So he knows I'm coming. And this is not like his brain is. That's the other thing, by the way. His brain is all there. He's 94 years old. Gesundheit. His brain is 100%. He's not like learning new things. I mean, he learns new bits of political propaganda. That's the only, I think once you reach a certain age, the only new information you can learn is radical political propaganda. It's the only thing that pierces the outer layer of just discomfort and a life full of memories is, New York's becoming socialist, you know? At a certain point, that's all that reaches them. But anyway, anytime I come to the house, my dad says, "Oh, what a nice surprise." And it makes him so happy. And that makes me feel bad. I'm going to start crying. It does. It makes me feel bad because, first of all, I feel like I should do it more. I should visit more. I should just be there all the time. They've given me everything. Why can't I just, whatever time he has left, just be there for him? And that it's just so easy. All I have to do is just physically be there. I don't have to. It doesn't even, whatever. If I'm doing well, if I'm doing poorly in life, he doesn't really see the difference. It doesn't really register because no matter what, I'm doing better than him. I could be having the worst day of my life. It's better than any day he's had in the past 10 years. Just because I'm young and healthy. It's just as sad. And this almost has nothing to do with my dad. This is just life. This is just, when I see my dad, the reality of life hits me. Which is that it's a downhill slope. Turning 30 in a few months. And again, it's still young. I don't feel like I'm going through some sort of midlife crisis or whatever. I feel like every day I go through a midlife crisis, if I'm being honest. Every podcast is a crisis. Because people go through crises and they start. By starting stand-up a few years ago, I was preparing. I was like, I know I want to get ahead on this crisis. I don't want to start doing this when I'm like, oh no, I'm not getting any younger. It's like, no, I'm ready. I'm already roaring. I'm got some momentum, But it's, and it's, I just feel bad because I just feel like there's so much I could do that I don't. Like, I could really help him just set up his computer, I guess, so it works better for him and it's easier to do things. But it's so frustrating because you have to repeat everything. It's so hard for him to see. And also, I don't know. And that's the thing, is my relationship with my dad was always very much just like he was the provider and I just kind of we never really did a lot of things, the two of us. I tried. I mean, we tried a few, he would try to teach me photography or whatever. And it would be very frustrating because he's very it's like, you got to do it exactly this way. And it would just I would just get, within 5 minutes, I'd just be like, this sucks. I just always felt like doing things with my dad sucked. I'm going to cry again. And I feel bad saying that. I don't feel like, because I should be grateful. And I am grateful. It's the worst podcast of all time. No, but it's. But that was he had a kid at 65. And that's just when you have a kid that old, it's just harder to, it's just hard. You're slower, you're out of touch. But he's the man, It's like, how funny would it be if as soon as I turned Do Not Disturb off on my phone, my mom I have 8 missed calls from my mom. She's like, your father died. I mean, again, it's not funny, but that's in my brain all the time. You have to understand. That's like that I'm just constantly, and actually that's not true. It's actually not true to say that I'm constantly thinking about my dad could be dead right now. That's actually not where my brain is at most of the time. Most of the time, my brain is just, it's the N word on repeat. We went over this last episode, but anytime, I don't know, it is a thing. It's a thing that comes because he's almost died like every few years. You know what happened like a month and a half ago? Whenever when he fell, that was another incident. It's always an incident. Oh, it's so hard to be Ari. Oh, your dad. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, dude. This is my therapy because I don't have a therapist. So I do this. Talk. Is this nice, easy listening for your little car ride? While you're playing your little chess games or you're doing the dishes and you listen to this? Is this nice to listen to? Huh? It's not for you. It's for me. That's why I'm the best podcaster of all time. God damn, we got real raw today. How much time have I done? Holy shit, that's almost 50 minutes. All right, well, that was a session. I got to get ready. What time? Jesus Christ, might be late for this. Jesus, it's already 6:30. All right, it was good. Bye-bye.